Home Loan Friday. Today we'll be discussing VA loan limits in 2025 and how they impact you as a veteran home buyer. I'm a lender who started out my career in 1978 doing VA loans because my dad worked for the VA in their home loan department division. I was taught, how to get hard loans approved by him, and I have loved being in the mortgage business ever since. I'm going to give you the real deal with VA loans and not some of the nonsense that I've been seeing people who don't know what they're doing or talking about online. So first of all, it's very important for you to know or to have your full VA entitlement. So those of you who have never bought a VA home loan, you have full entitlement. To check that, you need to just look at your certificate of eligibility. If you don't have that, you can go online to get it. It's pretty easy. We can sometimes help you get that, when you apply for your loan. So just know that if you've ever had a VA loan, that has to be free and clear. But there are some loans that'll available that'll let you use your VA entitlement. If you've had a previous loan and it is not paid off. So if you use your VA entitlement for your current home and are selling before you buy your next home, you'll have full entitlement as well. That means if you sell your current home and you don't have another house right now with a VA loan, or it didn't have a foreclosure or a short sale that ate up a portion of your VA entitlement, you will have full VA entitlement. Now, if you have full VA entitlement, there is no loan limit. I can't stress this enough. I bring this up because once upon a time there was, but it changed in 2020 with a bill that was passed in 2019. And many lenders don't understand that this has changed. I know it's almost been 5 years now. They still don't realize that it impacts you because the last thing you want to do is to put down money that you don't have to put down because your lender doesn't know the guidelines. So VA does not have a loan limit for your home loan uh, with VA. So if you want to buy a $2.5 million home or $1 million house with zero down payment and you qualify, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go look and see, how expensive housing is. So if you don't have to put a down payment and that helps you save money or helps you get into a home without having put in a large down payment like most jumbo loans require. But here's the deal. You don't need to make a down payment with a VA loan. Remember that even if it's a $2.5 million home, it's crazy, I know. So there is no loan limit. Okay, let's look at what happens if you have a partial VA entitlement because you have a home that you're keeping as a rental or with a VA loan, or you had a short sale or a foreclosure that left you with parts of a partial VA entitlement. This is where the loan limits come into play. There are only a few areas where loan limits come into play if you have a partial entitlement. And sometimes we'll see someone who has had a short sale or foreclosure and some of their entitlement is still left with the property. So in that case, we'll have to do what's called a maximum mortgage worksheet to determine how much entitlement you have left and what the down payment is going to be. That means that you could have multiple VA loans and still have enough VA entitlement to purchase another home. We'll calculate the maximum VA loan worksheet, and that will tell you how much you have to put down or what the maximum zero down is, or a small down payment. There are veterans who have bought and kept multiple homes that have VA loans entitlement, and they still have more entitlement on there. So there is so much opportunity. When you start learning how and what you can do with your VA loan, the opportunities for veterans right now is amazing. Now, here is the catch. You have to live in the house for at least 1 year if you're buying and getting a VA loan. After 1 year, you can move out and you can buy another home or whatever. But VA requires, 1 year. There are some exceptions to that, but they're very limited. Okay, now let's say that you live in this house and you're like, gosh, going, hey, I've always wanted to live in St. George. Well, maybe you're retiring, right? And you say, hey, Mark, I want to keep this house in Salt Lake. Okay, cool. What are you going to do with this house here? Well, I'm going to just keep it. I'm not going to rent it out. It's just going to be a second home. One of my neighbors next door is doing the exact same thing where he has a home here in Salt Lake, and then he's got a home in St. George, and they go between, especially during the winter, they're down there a lot more. And so in turn, you might be able to down the road decide, hey, I want to live there full time, and then you turn this home into a rental, or you can sell your current home. It's totally up to you. So let's do the Max Mortgage worksheet. We'll look at the new loan limit and calculate whether you need a down payment for the next house. Sometimes you will, most of the time you will, quite honestly, because of home prices being so much, but and sometimes you won't. It kind of depends on the calculation. For most homes in Utah, the VA loan limits right now have gone up to $806,500. So if you're looking at a home and you're using a subsequent VA entitlement, in other words, you currently have a VA loan somewhere and you want a new loan, in most of Utah, it's $806,500. Now, in Summit and Wasatch County, the maximum loan amount is $1,149,825. Let me just say that one more time: $1,149,825. In Wayne County, that's kind of like an exception to it, but there's a lot of high-priced homes up there. The maximum is $997,050. So if you have partial, eligibility, or if you're like, we already have one VA loan and I just can't, and I want to do what's best for me with the least amount of down payment, well, just call us. Let's check and see, because sometimes people assume they can't get another VA. We'll do the worksheet and we'll tell you exactly where you're at. So here's a recap of our video today. So first of all, the bill that was passed in 2019 eliminating VA entitlement is called the Blue Water Navy Veterans Act of 2019. They always have this weird name, right? And so that's the first thing you need to know. The VA loan limits are used to determine how much veterans without full entitlement can borrow. So in other words, you don't have a loan limit. Your lender sets that loan limit. They might set it at 2.5, they might set it at 3, it might be 4. I don't know. You'll have to just check with them. The VA loan limits for borrowers with partial entitlement depends on the county where you live and the type of property that you're going to purchase. It has to be owner occupied. You can check what current loan limits are in the Federal Housing Finance Agency, which is FHFA website. But I just gave you those limits here, and I'll give it to you one more time before we're done. The other thing that's cool about this is that VA loans generally have a little bit lower interest rate than conventional loans. So you could even, be able to get a VA loan and still have a lower monthly payment, even if you have to pay the VA funding fee. The other thing too is if you have any disability, even if it's a 1% disability from the Veterans Administration, and maybe you don't have it right now, but you can apply and see if you do have that, then VA will waive that one-time VA funding fee. So in other words, you can have multiple VA loans at one time, but the second loan is going to have a loan limit. Again, here's the loan limits. It's going to be $1,149,825. So $1,849,825. And then for mortgage, and that's for Summit and Wasatch counties. Wayne County is $997,050. And then for all the rest of the state of Utah, it's $806,500. Well, homes are getting, very expensive, but here's a way for you to save not only on your down payment, but you might be able to save on the interest rate. And then, if you have any kind of disability at all, you won't have to pay the upfront funding fee. Hey, I've been in this business a long, long time. I know how to do VA loans and I know how to get the tough ones approved. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My number is 801-792-7777. Please call me today and let's explore your VA entitlement home loan benefits. All right. Thanks for listening.